Let's talk about the mindset that gets us lost. The mindset that we surround ourselves with a lot of times in our lives, where we look at something and we say, the world is not molding to me. The people around me don't understand me. I'm unseen. How many people get like that? Have you found yourself where you feel like everyone around you doesn't understand you? Where you feel like the very world that you're working in every single day isn't noticing the success that you bring to it, that nobody sees you the way that you should be seen, and it's their fault. Wrong. It's your fault. At the end of the day, the mindset shift that changed my life was going from me to you. What do I mean when I say that? Me is defining everything in the world as someone else's problem. Blaming your situation, blaming how you grew up, how it was harder than other people. All the things that made you who you are that actually could be leveraged as your unique ability and your success, you're leveraging as blame. It's me. The world should actually change to fit me. And that mentality is weak. It's wrong. It only gets you so far. In fact, it keeps you empty, dishonest, uncomfortable, always lost. And that's not who we want to be. We want to shift to the mindset of you, of we. What does that mean? I can tell you, growing up, I felt like when I first got into business, I often described myself as someone that was laying on their back punching up at the world. Everybody was just getting in my way, and I just needed to show them how great I could be. I once went to a leadership development course, and they told us, it wasn't even a course, it was a training, and I did this great presentation, and I used the word I so many times they counted inside of it. And I remember coming back going, well, I thought the presentation was X. Why would they not give me the rules right? And I remember being in a mindset that was shifting, but hadn't shifted all the way. I needed to really shift from I to we, and we to you. So the mindset shift that I'm talking about is not something that I'm making your problem. I'm making it my problem, something I've understood, something I'm sharing with you, something that has adjusted and shifted in my life to be something that's so powerful it could change yours. See, when I focus on we, when I focus on you, everything in my life gets better. When I'm laying down on the ground punching up, it means I can't be walking hand in hand with somebody accomplishing the goal at hand together. It means I'm alone. It means I'm blaming everybody else for everything that comes down at me, not everybody I lift up. See, the shift that I made in my life and in my brain and in my future revolved around going from I and me to we and you. And here's how I did it. When I look back at shifting, it wasn't immediate. It doesn't happen overnight. It has to be an awareness or a frequency that you tune into on a day in and day out basis to understand that the first thing that changes is self-talk. Stop talking to yourself in a negative way. Stop making yourself to be the victim. Start to become the victor. If you're a victim in your life, you're blaming everybody. Everybody else is your problem. No, you are the problem. You are the problem because you're not seeing everyone else for what they could provide you or what they're trying to provide you or for what they're giving you. See, the world is better if you just simply stop being the victim. You will be victorious when you change that mindset. So it started with self-talk for me. Change the way I talk to myself. Then I had to shift how I talk to everybody else. It wasn't about, I don't do this. I can't do that. I'm not going to ever do that. It shifted to, maybe it's not my preference to do that. How can we work this out? What do you think we could do together to make this better? This challenge is so much better if we're working through it together. You are simply someone who's trying to help me. Even if I wanted to be offended, I often choose to not. That's powerful. So words are extremely powerful, both when you say them and when someone else says them. But when I talk about choice, self-talk was the first choice I made. The second choice I made was how I communicated with other people, changing the terms from I and me to we and you. Next is I chose not to be offended. And this is what I'm getting at with choice. Choice and offensiveness is taking the victim mentality and moving it to victor immediately. When someone says something that you think you interpret your way and you're offended by that, you are choosing to receive that information that way. If someone walks up to me and says, "Nice hair," I can choose to say thank you, or I can choose to say, "Man, they're joking on me. They're calling me bald. They're telling me that I don't have any hair," right? It's a choice. But when I start to choose the thank you route, life gets easier. Life gets better. People can't take you down anymore. They're not there to take you down in the first place. If they're not against you, they're with you. And if they're against you, you will be much better off being self-confident, self-talking, and communicating with them with a you and a we mentality. And if they continue to walk all over you and it's real, then you step outside of it and move on. You don't take it. You don't become weak. You just acknowledge it. Choosing to be offended is something we hear a lot about today. People don't like the words you choose to use for them. They don't like the way that you called them out in front of the room, or you held them accountable, or whatever it may be. It's not real. That's just victimhood. It's just weak. It's not real. Real is you going inward and finding the best version of yourself. You is choosing that you're going to empower yourself, that your unique ability, what makes you different, what you always viewed earlier in your life as being a victim of, has actually given you the strength to become the best version of yourself and help other people who might be in that spot. You were a victim for growth. Now you learned, now you know. Now the mindset has shifted, and the mind shift has gone into a place where you can be more of who you were meant to be. You could truly reach that human potential. You could do it together with people around you, with a team, where you're not more worried about how you look in front of everybody else. You're more worried about how we look as a team. You win and lose together. You serve others. And I've always found that when I look back and I look at the shift that took years, but I look at the mental shift, I look at the physical shift, I look at the spiritual shift, they were all aligned in the same way. They all started to be focused on other people, on servant leadership, not serving myself. And man, what a shift. What an unbelievable change. What would that do for you? How would that change your life? How would that put you in a position where you could be a better version of yourself, for your family, for the world, for whomever you're serving? The key component is you will go from empty to fulfilled. You will feel like you have more to give the world. You'll have more energy. You'll feel better about yourself. Words from another person will no longer pierce you. If they do, you have to look inward and figure out why. You're better than that. I know it. I knew it. And that's why I changed myself. That's why I shifted that mindset. It's been life-changing. And I hope it can be life-changing to you. So first of all, thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like. Other people that might need to see this, don't be afraid to send it to them. And if you like content like this, watch this next video on how to be more productive.